Antron Singleton, a.k.a. Big Lurch, was enjoying an emerging career in hip-hop. A rapper from Texas, Lurch collaborated with Bay Area artists like Sibo, E40, and Mystical.
I started off underground with 45, rapping over other people's beats, doing shows like in 91, 92 in Dallas, Texas. And I came to California. Mac Mall hooked me up with Mike Mosley. Mike Mosley was doing Tupac at the time and E40. I got in where I fitted in and got my shine on, So on September the 16th, I had a car accident. A drunk driver hit my car. I broke my neck. When I got out, I couldn't walk or nothing. I was really feeling a lot of pain. So what I did was, I started smoking PCP. I smoked it 2 or 3 times when I was younger and got that numbing feeling. So I was using PCP as an anesthesia.
After Lurch recovered from the car accident, he resumed his music career. But he was also living in a dope house with a group of LA gangbangers he befriended. One night at a party, the crew broke out the PCP.
The guys who I thought was my friends, they start passing the PCP around. We started smoking the PCP, and they just kept feeding it to me and feeding it to me. The next thing I remember, I woke up in jail with a murder.
In April of 2002, Big Lurch was arrested and charged with the brutal murder of his friend, Tanisha Sayers.
When the police got me, they said that I was butt naked, walking up the street, pulling my hair out, barking like a dog, butt naked with blood on my body.
Well, the lady downstairs, she said she went in and she said Taisha was laying like in front of the door part, and she said that her chest was wide open where she can see her intestines, and said that her face was sliced.
Now, there was blood on my body, and it was body parts ripped out and all that. I'm not going to say it wasn't. Do I know what happened? No, because I was really that high.
A medical examination performed after his capture discovered human flesh in Lurch's stomach that was not his own.
They wouldn't let me see the body, but I had a cousin that was going to be a coroner, and she was down there, and she was saying, Curlin, you don't need to come down here. You don't need to see this because it's worse than they saying.
Lurch tried to plead insanity, but the California court system does not allow for voluntary drug users to plead insanity due to the effects of the drugs ingested.
Gangbangers got on the stand on me and took the stand on me and said I did it.
But as far as her boyfriend, he was a gang member, I believe. He the one set all this up. He was beating on her. She had all her stuff packed, ready to leave the day all this happened.
They got me high on purpose to take advantage of me.
She got hit in the back of the neck with one of the little kids' scooters because a handprint was on the scooter, bloody handprint, but they said they didn't know who that was. But it wasn't his.
It's not even no proof that I actually did the murder. My prints wasn't on her weapon. It was a dope house. They didn't find no dope in the dope house, though.
She didn't smoke the PCP. It was like somebody pulled it down. The bottle was pulled down her throat because she had so much in her system. They said ain't no way she could have smoked that much.
We on Figueroa, we were heavily armed up in there, you know what I mean? We had all kind of guns up in there. But when the police hit the spot, there wasn't no guns up in there.
There's evidence there like footprints, fingerprints on doors, bloody fingerprint, shoe at the back door, and it's like, where all this evidence go? It was DNA. Who DNA was? They said DNA came up lost.
So evidently the gangbangers cleaned the spot out. Did I even do the murder though? That's the question.
Then the police said they caught Big Lurch running down the street, butt naked, covered with her blood. But when they showed it on TV, he wasn't covered with blood. It was just, like from him gnawing on her lung, it was like, drops of blood like on here, and he had a little the tissue on his beard. They saying he was high, she was high. So they made it look like he did all this work to her. There's no way he could have done that work because the way she was messed up, hatred had to been there. And like he said, he didn't hate her.
They brought up a song I did called I Did It To You. It's like Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and Freddy Krueger, Jeffrey Dahmer, Charles Manson, and all of your friends on bench to school ya. They brought up that song like it was a blueprint for the murder, and the jury went for it.
To me, he didn't have no fair trial. It's like he did it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna put all this on him. He done it. It's over. That was it.
They convicted me over lunch break. It wasn't no day deliberation. It wasn't an hour. They said lunch break, deliberate. As soon as lunch break was over, guilty, guilty, guilty.
In November of 2003, he was sentenced to life in prison.
I didn't have fights with dudes that would walk up to me like, oh, you killed that broad, nigga. Yeah, nigga, Big Lurch. I hit him in their fucking mouth like, nigga, that's my homegirl. That's all I do is, read the Bible, read books, anything I'm interested in, read up on business, the music industry, because like it is, it's just nothing but time. And if you don't utilize it as a positive, then it's going to do you. So you got to do your time.
My mom always said you got to forgive, but I'll never forget, what happened to her. But yeah, I forgave him. I don't believe he done that. I believe he probably was off on that PCP and, he tripped. He saw that piece of lung lying on the floor and he, probably figured it was a piece of meat or whatever. So he just took it and started chewing on it. But as far as him, no, I don't believe that.
I got high and got off my square. That ain't cool. I'll never be off my square again.
And I believe he should have another trial. And I believe everything will come out then.
I don't believe in justice no more. Just us, man, and God.
In 2004, Stress Free Entertainment and Black Market Records released Lurch's solo album, It's All Bad. As of 2008, it is not known whether Lurch will ever be eligible for parole.